Betsy, and here's my manifesto. I was that girl who always looked like she had everything together, but she really didn't. I lived in a tight bubble made of way too many fears. And of course, I went on adventures, but those were limited to things like a trip to Whole Foods with my dad, or maybe to steal one of those fancy olives from the prepared food section. Or even on a Sunday busy morning, I would go to the bagel store and order a sandwich. I always valued adventure and pushing myself, but whenever I came face to face with a difficult challenge, I always backed down. Then I would regret it and promise myself that I would never miss an opportunity like that, but of course I did, and the cycle continued. On top of that, I was scared of my own voice. That made going to the bagel store even harder, because when they asked me what my order was, I'd have a mini freak out and order the wrong thing. After some time, I began to learn that my voice may actually be valuable, and that maybe I was a tad bit smartish. But like all new ideas, there was hesitation to believe it. Every once in a while, when the teacher called on me, even though my hand was down, I would turn bright red like a tomato, and my paper would make a distinct rattle, which added to my seemingly always growing list of reasons why never to speak. Every move I made was calculated, and I knew exactly how people would react, so I planned for the worst possible outcome. I wanted to change. I wanted to be that confident and strong woman who I imagined in my head, but I was lost in finding a way to get there. The road looked too long and too hard, and I couldn't do it alone. That was when I found CSG. It looked like a true adventure where I would have 19 other amazing humans by my side supporting me even if I didn't want it. I knew at times I would regret it and the miserable feelings may creep back in, but I also saw all the amazing things I could learn, so I took a leap and dove into the semester head first. The question, who am I, confuses me. I believe that I'll never fully know the answer to that question, but every day I will learn a little bit more about myself. What I do know is adventure is my favorite word. Well, not really. My favorite word is either unicorn or chocolate. But the point is that I love going on adventures. To me, adventure is pushing past fear, listening to the voice inside your head telling you not to worry, and feeling uncomfortable at times, but pursuing a goal while learning. I also love taking less calculated risks too, like going down the stairs in a bucket. Just a piece of advice, I wouldn't recommend it, but I learned that plastic bins aren't as sturdy as they seem. And if anyone was wondering, I only got a large bruise on my back and a cut on my face and my leg, but don't you worry, I survived. With these crazy new adventures, I have learned my creative side. When I used to be asked if I was a creative, I immediately answered no, I only draw stick figures. To me, creativity was measured in my ability to draw. My view of creativity has shifted, and even though I can still only draw stick figures, I consider myself a creative person in the way I solve problems and deal with my boredom. That doesn't always mean I come up with the smartest things, however. Another piece of advice, if your laundry detergent says gluten-free, it doesn't mean it should be drinking. It's quite unpleasant and uncomfortable, but another thing I've learned. I also acknowledge my voice now. That has been a big change for me, which I found scary at first, but then I was met with a huge wave of empowerment. I understand my capabilities as a student and as a leader, and I'm able to put my skills to great use. I know that I have the power to create beautiful things in this world. Although I'm still not the best at ordering bagels, I'm no longer afraid, and I can actually order what I want instead of panicking. My discovery of voice has come with a tremendous amount of confidence as well. Not judging what I say and criticizing myself for small mistakes has allowed me to drop judgments I hold in other areas, and I've lost interest in what other people think of me. Before CSG, I only experienced one type of person. I mean, everyone is different, but the people I grew up with and went to school with generally had the same views. I thought the community I was previously in was diverse. Some kids wore Nikes, while others wore Sperry's and Timberlands. To me, that was diverse, but I was totally wrong. I've now met so many amazing people with different views, and I have learned so much about the world I live in, which has helped me better make my own opinion about the world today. Writing this manifesto has made me realize the magnitude of this change I went through. It's funny to think that only 16 weeks ago, I was that girl surrounded by fears. I couldn't put my finger on one thing that made this possible, however. All I know is I have myself to thank. CSG provided a safe space where 20 amazing people came together, but I'm the one responsible for what I did. I'm the one who took the leap of faith with my eyes closed and my hands out. With the CSG safety net below me, I decided to try new things. And one of those things was being that loud and confident girl I had always dreamed of. The change or the new feelings didn't come in a second, however. Every day I had to push through the judgmental thoughts in my head, and there were times where I thought it'd be easier to keep my mouth shut, but those were the times where I learned the most. Even though there's still more I can always do, I have the strength to go through life with an open heart, and I will be that change I want to see in that world. So now I'm pretty much a new person. I have so many new skills, and unfortunately a world full of problems that I now have the power to change. There are many things I'm passionate about fixing, but for the sake of time, I'll only talk about one injustice I find. It's It's sad to think about, but many other teenagers feel the same way I have felt, that they are consumed with fear and their voices aren't important. That person needs an advocate, someone who understands where they've been, or at least a friend, and I can be that. One of my many goals in life is to get those voices heard by creating a safe place where they can be vulnerable and slowly start using their voice. At 16, it's true, I don't know what I want to do yet. But one day I will work with those struggling teenagers and remind them that there is hope, and that I am living proof that life gets better and having a strong and powerful voice is achievable.